What is going on, everybody? So I am back today to talk about a film that it's going to be kind of difficult to talk about because every now and again I watch a movie that is so overwhelmingly beautiful and thoughtful and that really just resonates with me in a way that feels so like embedded in my own brain and similar to last year's After Sun, a movie that like I can describe all the things I love about it, but I can't necessarily with words convey it in the way that I want to about everything that it makes me feel. And this one really got me a lot. I sat around thinking about it a lot after it was over. And if you can't tell, I really enjoyed it, and I'm looking forward to discussing it today. And the movie I'm going to be talking about is It's Such a Beautiful Day. It's Such a Beautiful Day is directed by Don Hertzfeldt. Bill struggles to put together his shattered psyche in this feature film version of Don Hertzfeldt's animated short film trilogy. So I saw this on someone's Letterboxd top 4 when I was doing Letterboxd recommendations on TikTok, and I noticed in this person's top 4 they had Synecdoche, New York, and a couple other films that I just absolutely adore. So as soon as I saw this movie bundled in with those, I immediately had to give it a watch. Sometimes it's just like, you know, when you see someone who has a taste that's very similar to yours have something in their top 4 that's close to something that you like, you just feel like you have to jump in and watch it. And I noticed this was only, I believe, 62 minutes long, so it's only like an hour and 2 minutes. And I didn't really know what to expect with it being an animated film. I love animated films, especially ones that aren't attached to these big companies. So I was really looking forward to it, and this movie absolutely blew my mind. It devastated me. It made me think a lot. It made me feel comforted in a way, despite the fact that a lot of the subject matter in this is very, very, very heavy. But I'll get into that a little bit more in the review. So this is a story about a stick figure man named Bill, who we're introduced to at the beginning of the film. He's living on his own, and he gets diagnosed with cancer. And the movie is him thinking about the ideas of life and death. Did he appreciate his life, going into his family's history, what his mother was like, what his grandmother was like, and thinking about being given the opportunity to continue living, what would happen if you get over getting cancer. And there's so many themes explored in this brief hour-long movie, and none of them feel understated. Every single theme that this movie is trying to talk about is conveyed in such a brilliant and beautiful way. I love the way this thing is shot. So there's these little circle bubbles, and I'll be putting fragments of the trailer to the movie in here so that you can see it, but there's these little circle bubbles that show little vignettes from Bill's life and his existence, but there's also these incredible moments where we as the viewer kind of get put through the perspective of Bill's character when he's being overwhelmed with anxiety, or when he has sensory overload, or if he's dealing with memory loss, or any sort of things that the film kind of throw at you throughout this runtime. And it's accompanied by this very brilliant sound design that really makes you uncomfortably feel like you're in our lead character's shoes. And what I think is so fascinating is a lot of people discredit animation as a genuine form of filmmaking. And it's really stupid, because I've seen some films that are in the animated medium in my life that are equally as profoundly impactful as feature-length narrative runtime films with real actors. And not to say that animated films don't have real actors, because they do, they have vocal actors. But a lot of times people discredit animation, and I think there's something so brilliant about making this lead character a stick figure that has a very simple design. And I think that giving him even like a simpler name like Bill really gives you as an audience member the ability to put yourself in their shoes and kind of lose that moment where you're watching a character on screen and you start thinking about the things in your own life. Because I think coming to terms with death is the most difficult thing in life, right? We all die at some point. It's completely inevitable. And this movie looks at what is life without death. What if we continued going on forever and ever and ever, and there was no end to this existence, there was nothing finite, then what is life when you could just hang out and do whatever you want and spend your time doing those things? When you conscientiously have to make time and effort and an ability to make something of the existence that you are given. There's something truly beautiful and horrifying and thoughtful about that idea. And what Don is able to do in this brief 60-minute runtime runtime. I was in tears through most of it. I was smiling at points in it. I just like the wide array of emotion that I felt through the spectrum of this 60-minute runtime is something truly remarkable. And I think Don is truly a genius. This is really a beautiful work of art, and I just kept thinking about these themes and the trajectory that the movie takes, even in looking at something like, and as many of you know out there, because I've talked about it in previous videos, and if you haven't watched my videos before, I've been through a lot of very traumatic experiences with my family in the past, and especially with the dynamic that I have with my father, and you know, my familial relationship. I'm very close with my siblings, but as far as with my father, that relationship is not good, and it was very weird over the years to kind of think back on that and kind of see where my family has gone and what the new structure of my family dynamic is now in my life. And to watch a movie that not only covers that, the ideas of life and death and all of these heavy subject matters, but look at mental illness in a family and how that can directly affect other people, and how that person's mental illness isn't their fault, but because of the things that can happen, it can cause issues for people in the future, and how so much of life is happenstance. So much of it is based in, you know, trauma caused by someone who didn't necessarily want to cause that trauma, or mean-spirited people that do it on purpose. And, you know, it's really deep and complex and beautiful, because human beings, I think, you know, we live in a really weird world where we're the most connected we've ever been through the internet, but we're also the least connected that we've ever been, because if we get sick of seeing what someone wants to say, we can just throw our phone away. If we quit caring about someone, we can just unfollow them on the internet if we've never met them before in person. That it's just so weird when you can build these really intense emotional connections, but at the same time you can be a part of that but be completely separated. You don't actually have to build any type of relationship. And so because of those really complex dynamics, looking at this movie and kind of seeing how it views human beings and how each human being's experience is so important in understanding who they are and why they are the way that they are. It's just a really beautifully empathetic film that looks at the darkest sides of humanity, and also the positive outlook that can come from it. Not necessarily just dwelling on the fact that, hey, you're gonna die someday. It's not just that. There's so much more under the surface that you can unpack. And I could talk about this movie for an hour and just never stop. And I don't want to give away every single moment, because I think it's really brilliant to just go in and experience this. I know it's on Vimeo right now. You can rent it for like $4. It's 100% worth it. I'm excited to pick this one up on Blu-ray because I want to watch it over and over again. I think this should be in the Criterion Collection. It's truly a work of genius, and I hope more people out there will watch it, because it is one of the best films I've ever seen. So have you seen It's Such a Beautiful Day? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Leave me a comment down below and let me know what you thought. I truly believe this is one of the best films ever made. It really left a profound impact on me, and I hope that it does the same for you. As always, if you can like the video and subscribe to the channel, it helps me out a lot. Lets me know the type of content you're looking for. I'm always putting out new material and look forward to getting more out for you in the near future. And as always, everyone, thank you so much for watching, and have a great rest of your day.